Hey guys, this is Chani and welcome back to my channel. And I know it's been a long, but here I am again back. And with this, I have a very special guest on my channel today. He doesn't need a formal introduction, but yes, he's one of the best YouTube content creator in education. His name is Raghav Pal, and he has more than 2,70,000 subscribers so far with more than 800 videos in his channel. So he's the guy with all this success and still very down to earth by nature. And this is where I decided that I'll really invite him on my channel so that we should know his journey and feel inspired by his journey. And his channel name is Automation Step by Step. So in case if you have not subscribed to his channel, please go and subscribe. You will literally learn a lot. He teaches, there are many courses that he teaches, plus he has his courses available on Udemy. You can go and have a look there, and he has a wide range of students there, so definitely you will learn a lot. So let's welcome him, guys, and let's see what he has to say about his journey, his career, his passion, that is teaching. Hi Raghav, welcome to my channel. And it would be really great if you introduce yourself.
Sure, Charlie. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm so happy to be here. And I'm Raghav. I'm a teacher. I teach automation, testing, DevOps, and CI. And I mostly teach on my YouTube channel, that is Automation Step by Step, and on my Udemy channel as well, with the same name. Then I have my website, automationstepbystep.com. So I was an automation architect with 12 plus years of experience, and I have been teaching when I was in job as well. And then I thought of taking a break and teaching full time. I was very passionate about it. So these days I am doing full time teaching, taking corporate trainings, and just enjoying teaching and my subjects.
Okay, so now you are a full-time YouTuber, right?
Yeah, you can say that. I do, teach on YouTube. I have my channel there. Then I teach on Udemy. Then I take corporate training. So whenever corporate trainings for these subjects and topics come to me, based on my availability and based on if I can, take that topic, I do that. So it's a mix of all these things that I do these days. And earlier, before this COVID situation, I was also doing a lot of travel. So I would travel to different cities and locations and do teachings and corporate trainings. These days everything is online.
So do you think that changing your there was a time you were into a corporate office, like going office and then simultaneously doing this stuff, something you love, your passion. So now since you are doing it full time, do you think it has changed your life, and in what aspect it has changed? Can you just put a light on it?
So definitely it has changed many things. When I was in a full-time job, I had a very, kind of a strict routine where I know that I have to get up and get ready for office at a specific time, go to office, and then do all the, take care of all my responsibilities, my work there, and then come back. And then, I had very little time left for, working on my channel and, my teaching. I was also enjoying my work at my office because it was very much related to what I do. So both of these things, my teaching and my work at office, was very much had a symbiotic relationship. Like whatever I am doing in my free time was helping my work at my office, and whatever I was learning and doing at my work was helping me in my teaching and all these things that I was doing in my personal time. So it was a very good association. The only thing was I was getting a very less time for working on what I very much wanted to do. So mostly it was my routine was like I would get up early so that I can get at least 2 hours or 3 hours before I can go for office. I can get ready for office. So I used to wake up at 4:30 so that I can get 2 3 hours, and then around 7:38 I would start to get ready for office and then go to office. And then usually it was like in office sometimes there were late night meetings, there were client meetings that used to happen in a different time zone, so I had to stay back. So by the time I was back home, it was almost I just had enough time to have my dinner and go to bed. So that was the routine that time. Today it is yes, it's very much flexible. I have full time to work on things I really like doing. So I'm enjoying this time. I wake up and then whatever I have to start on any topic, anything I want to teach, I can do it full day. I do not have to worry that I have to stop it and then take care of other things.
Yeah.
Of course, when there is a corporate training, then I have to invest my full time there for like whatever time period I have the training, maybe 2 days, 3 days, and so on. But yeah, I had enjoyed that part as well, and I'm enjoying this phase very
Uh,
well.
but Raghav, have you ever regretted that in any point of your life? I mean, ultimately, you have cut off in a way, social interaction, the way we have it in usually office. We don't have it when we sit at home and work individually and alone. You might have corporate trainings, like obviously as you told me, but e- like in these days and this COVID times, it is so difficult to socially mingle and interact with people. It makes you feel like alone or something like that.
Uh, Not very much. I do understand that today with the everyone working from home and away from
Yeah.
offices, people are missing that human interaction. And yeah, to some extent, I am also missing that human interaction. But that I believe is kind of universal for everyone today because of even people uh, who are into their uh, complete who are into their regular jobs, they are also working from home and everyone is doing the same. So yeah, some impact is there, but that is just because of this COVID situation. Otherwise, I don't really feel that I'm losing something or I'm missing on something. Particularly because I am into very much a social space because my work is there for everyone to see, and I get messages, comments, emails every day. In fact, today I get so many messages and comments and emails that I have to take out at least 2 hours separately just to reply to everyone. So that is one thing. The other thing is that I have kind of tried to bring a balance in my work life and my personal life. It was very clear to me right from beginning that whenever I will do full time my work, I will have to take up space separate from my home. So every time I have done this, wherever I am, I always take a separate space that I make my office space. Like today, this space where I am, it is not my home actually. Means not the place where my family lives. It's like at a walking distance to where my home is, but yeah, it is a separate place where I have kind of converted into an office, and I work from here. So I come in the morning, work whole day, and then I go back, and then I have my daughter who is waiting for me whenever I go. So I spend time with her. I play with her in the morning, and then when I go back home. So things are balanced. And yes, I miss out travel because of the pandemic situation. It has been almost more than a year now that all these corporate trainings and everything is online. So that is some part I miss. But I think that is universal for everyone, and things will change soon.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I try to bring a good balance.
Okay, that's nice. But that is really good of you that you are able to balance it. But there are people who are actually facing problem, troubling to balance such thing. What do you suggest for such people? What they can do to since there are many who are extroverts and they are not able to socially interact, even as a profession, what what do you suggest for them?
Uh, I believe that people who are in their regular jobs, although they may be working from home, but in a regular job, we kind of have to interact with the teams. We have to, do online meetings and all those kind of things are there. So in some way, they are, I cannot say that they are completely socially isolated. Just that human touch and that human interaction is missing. I can just say that this is a difficult time and everyone is facing that, and the most important thing is to be safe these days. So maybe people can try to spend good time with their families, whatever time they get after work. They can enjoy with their family, can take out some time to maybe play within the homes, or kind of create some routine where they can enjoy their personal time. I think that will be one good way where people would kind of uh, have this isolation feeling less felt, or it's not so much of a issue. I'm saying this because we do not have a lot of options today, and the very important thing is to be safe.
That is very true. uh, I think, I mean, mostly everybody is staying with their family, but there are people who are still feeling so isolated, even being in their family, mentally disturbed. So that's a really disturbing thing.
Uh, I
Raghav.
I believe if there are people who, due to some reason, are not staying with their family, or maybe due to some reason are staying alone, I'm sure that this will be very difficult for them. And I don't know if technology can help them. They can, there are social networking sites and all those things. But yeah, I do understand that human interaction will be missed there as well. But you know, I can just say that do things that you like doing, uh, create a routine, create a routine for some exercise or maybe some meditation on a daily basis. Have like very specific time set for your work, and then for the activities you like doing, and then for exercise. Maybe that will be in some way help you if you are staying away, and it will be difficult for you to intermingle with people. So that is one thing that we can try to do.
Okay, that's a nice advice. Raghav, since you are full time into this YouTube and trainings and teaching, basically, I would like to ask you one thing. I have always heard that it is very important to be consistent, and for that it is very important that you are self motivated always. And as the person, I know it is not always uh, possible to keep yourself motivated all the time. So how do you keep yourself motivated? Like, obviously there must be some time now you must be feeling, okay, let's take a break, or take a pause from all that. But still, I have seen you are very regular and you keep posting and you are training. And I mean, from where it comes?
Uh, I don't know, but what I can say is, see, one thing is that if you really like doing something and you are passionate about something, then of course, you will continue doing it, you will persist, and even if sometimes things are not going good, still you will continue. But I do understand that even if you are doing something very interesting, there are phases when you kind of feel like you want to take a break, or sometimes it, it happens that that we feel that okay, it is kind of becoming very monotonous. The same thing is going on every day. But I believe that in the space where I am, that is teaching, and and teaching is like open to everyone. Most of my teaching is available on open platforms like YouTube and Udemy as well. There are all open courses. Most of my courses are there. So I believe one of the best things that happens with me is I get all the motivation and all the energy from my students, from my viewers, and my automation step by step family. So one of the things I do on a daily basis is when I get up, I look at my comments, and I get so many nice comments, and they are so good comments which can energize anyone. People tell me that how much it has helped them. People tell me on a daily basis that they were able to get a job because of my teaching. People tell me that they were able to do a project, or get a particular role into their organization. Just yesterday I got a comment where somebody told me that he had been doing testing for several years, and he was almost fed up. He was not learning, and he was going to just stop and change his career option. But then he found my tutorials, and he spent some days, and now he's back, and he's very happy and looking forward to it. And then lot of comments I get where people tell me that it has made their career and all those kind of things. So this is what I believe, one thing that keeps me going, and this is what I do. I look at all my comments. I wake up and very quickly I open my mobile to see what are the new comments, and every day I get few of these very good comments, and I think this gives me a lot of energy right in the morning, so I can go through the rest of the day.
That's such a nice comment. And with that, I would want to ask ki, obviously, the way you are inspiring and encouraging, everybody around you. So, who was the one? How did it happen that no, आज से मुझे अब full time teaching करनी है? When was that moment in your life? I mean, how did it come up?
It was like I was into full-time job, and I was doing my teaching and all my channel work side by side on a daily basis, mostly like in the morning, as I said, in the early morning hours I was doing it.
Yeah.
And overall everything it was fine. I was enjoying because my work was also related to whatever I teach, and both of these things had like common topics and common subjects, so it was all fine. There was a time when I realized that maybe I should take a break. I never thought of taking a permanent break. I thought of taking like few months break, and one of the things that triggered this was I had a huge list of topics that had been requested by my viewers and students, and the pace in which I was going, and I was uh, completing these topics or these subjects was very, very slow. And I was thinking that if this continues, it will be very difficult for me to complete this list even in like 10 years. So I thought, why not just take a break and do it full time for a few months, and then let us see what happens after that. And then I thought that let me take a break of 6 months and do it full time, so that I will be able to cover all these topics that were requested to me, and then I will come back to the job. So I did that. I took a 6 months break, and I thought that I will not go back to job before 6 months. Let me just see what happens. Uh, One thing that happened was, as I took a break from my job, I started getting these offers for corporate training, and I had never done corporate training earlier. I was doing my personal teaching only until that time. Then I thought that anyways I have full time now, so let me just try this. This will be almost the same what I am doing online, so I can just travel, and I will have a class of maybe 30, 40 students, and I will teach and come back. So I said let me try that. So I got a offer. I traveled. I did the training, and I felt very good because this was something I enjoyed doing, and I was teaching live, and people were interacting with me. I could interact with them. They could ask me questions and their problems. live, and I could solve them, and it was like a classroom training, and I enjoyed that. So I thought it is good. I can also do corporate trainings, and I will continue my teaching, and that kept on going. I kept on getting these offers for corporate trainings. I used to travel different cities. So that was something I really enjoyed doing, and that is why this break is still continuing. I could never go back to a job, and it's the break period is still continuing.
So even with all that, it is, you are able to keep yourself updated with all the technology coming up. I mean, do you face any problem with that?
Uh, I believe that the channel that I have and the topics that I teach. So whenever something new comes up, I anyways get a lot of requests, and people, the best part is people can interact with me, they can comment, and they can tell me what they need. On a daily basis, they send me messages on what they want more, and on the existing topics as well, they tell me that okay, this particular tool or platform has got something new or some new feature. Can you create videos on this, or can you teach us this particular thing? And then if something complete new platform or a tool comes up, again I get requests from my viewers that we want a course or a tutorial on this particular thing. So I think in this way I am able to keep I can cope up with all these new things, and new challenges and new platforms and new features coming up. So the the interaction part with my audience and with my viewers is keeping me up to date.
That's really great. Matlab, I have a few friends who started their YouTube journey and they were into teaching, and it was so difficult for them to manage this yeah, knowledge. I mean, I feel when you work into a corporate office, into that world, it is easy for you because you keep hearing about what is new and what is updated in the market. But then I have seen them leaving the field because it was really impossible for them to balance it. But then good to hear it from you. तो जिनको आज आप इंस्पायर कर रहे हो, उन्हीं से आप इंस्पायर होके आपने ये स्टार्ट किया बेसिकली. That's nice.
Yeah, so I just believe that see, I can, if I just record a tutorial or a course and I put it on online on any platform, but if there is nobody to tell me what is right, what is wrong, what more they want, what is missing, and if something new comes up, they will tell me that okay, this is now outdated and you should be creating a new tutorial with this new feature. Then I will never get to know what's happening. So my viewers, my students are the people who actually inspire me, keep me motivated, and also keep me up to date.
That's really great. So this was all about motivation. What do you actually do when you get demotivated?
I watch a movie sometimes. So one of the things that has happened when once I have started working full time on my own is I have a lot of flexibility. So sometimes if I don't feel like working or doing something, I watch some movies, or I go back home and play with my daughter, because anyway she's not having schools. So she's all the time available, and whenever I want I do that. So I do that, and I have always told that one of the other sources of inspiration is my community, my viewers, students. So I read their messages, I interact with them, I sometimes watch movie. If I feel like I do not have to do anything, then I just go back and relax. I go back home, I play with my daughter, and these are the things I do generally.
Okay, that's uh, really nice. Even okay. Okay, I saw one thing in your channel that you have started this Sunday motivation thing. You tell story and few things like that. So how come, I mean, you came up with such idea for your channel, and why? I mean, there must be some reason behind it, right?
Uh, yeah, so the Sunday special series, I did not had a very specific theme or a very specific uh, idea that I will start a weekly Sunday special series where every Sunday a video will come. I just started it casually that uh, on my channel, it is all technical stuff. It is related to
Yeah.
automation, testing, DevOps, CI. So it is all technical stuff. And I thought that suppose I'm making a tutorial or a course on some particular topic, and it may take about a month for me to complete that topic. So every day or every week, I will have videos coming out for that particular topic. But let us say
Hmm.
my audience, from my audience, there will be 10% of people who are interested to watch that particular topic, and rest 90% are do not want to watch that. So for that complete month, these 90% of the people will not have anything good or anything new to watch on the channel. So I thought, let me have something very generic and something that everybody can watch, and we still stay connected, and it is not like we have lose touch and we have lost touch for several months, and it should not be like a vacuum for some people. So I thought, let me start on something very generic. So I started with the Sunday special. If you watch the earlier few videos, they are very general videos where I had thanked for 10,000 subscribers. Sometimes I have just created a simple video or things like that. Then sometime I just thought I had some good story. I shared that, and I saw that a lot of people liked it. Then I thought that this is a good uh, way and a process and a platform where every Sunday everyone can meet, or everyone of us in the community have something common to see, and it is not a very specific topic, it is very general, which everyone can see. So I thought, let us continue with this, and that is how I started creating the Sunday special series, where I share some inspirational motivational stories. And earlier I used to share some very practical tips, which sometimes I have practically used and applied, and it helped me, so I shared that. Then I also share some stories and things like that, which is very generic and everyone can see that. That is how Sunday special started, and now it's continuing. And there is a video coming out every Sunday, which is a generic video, sometimes a motivational story, sometimes some practical tips, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen that, and it's really actually motivating, and it's good to have, something out of the league once in a while, I feel.
Yeah, and I just started casually, but now I realize that people actually wait for Sunday to see the story. So a lot of people have messaged me that they wait for Sundays so that they can watch my story Sunday special video. So now I believe a lot of people see that, so I will be continuing on that.
Yeah, the way you present it, it's actually interesting as well. So, plus, something like this coming from a technical guy also makes it very interesting, I feel.
Thanks. I really like what you say. So uh, I don't know if it has anything to do with technical or non-technical. It's just like I I like sharing some stories, so I do it very casually. So I'm happy that people are liking it.
Yeah, definitely, I can say so. Raghav, with like stories, like whatever stories you share, can you like share one of your very profound memory with your journey in like YouTube or teaching, or maybe during when you used to go for corporate trainings, those interactions? Can you share, like, obviously you must be having many profound memories or incidents.
Uh, Yeah, so there are several memories, several things. Uh, Maybe I can share with you like the start from the beginning, like how it all started. So when I was in my job, I I was leading a team of automation engineers, and even before that, when I joined one of the when I did a switch after I was in Infosys, I was in the Mysore campus, and then I got a transfer, and I was posted to the Chandigarh campus of Infosys. And after a few years, I did a change, and I came into a organization which was like a startup. So it had it had very few people. Like when I joined, there were like 20, 25 people there, and uh, testing was done manually that time. And I came there, I was the first person into automation, and I was responsible to create the complete automation infrastructure there and to create a complete team. So I started as a single person, and then I created my own team. And as the in this process of creating a team, I had to teach them, I had to guide them how to do things, how to create frameworks, and how to do the process and everything start to end. And I believe that was one of the reasons, and that was the time when I developed my passion for teaching. And during that time, when I was working alone for some time, I had to take a lot of help from online resources, from YouTube videos, from articles, and a lot of these technical discussion resources and these websites. So I used to take a lot of help from there. So once I reached a stage where I had good knowledge and I was able to set up several frameworks and automation platforms, I realized that it is time to give back. And then I thought that maybe I can, just record some of the tutorials, some of the work that I'm already doing at my work, and then I will just post it on YouTube, and let us see if it can help some people. So I just used to, in the morning before going to office, I used to record one or two videos and just post it. It was very raw. I did not know how to do editing and all these things. So I would just record my screen and my voice and upload it on YouTube. And after a few days, I saw that it was helping a lot of people. I got so many views and messages from all around the world where people would tell me that it is helping them a lot. It helped them in their work, and the way I teach, the step-by-step way, is something they really like. So I thought that if people are liking it, let me continue whatever time I have. So I used to create videos, and I started my journey. uh, one memory that I fondly remember is the time when I started my YouTube channel was approximately the same time when my daughter was born. So it was
Okay.
almost the same time when she was born, and then after a few days when she was born, I uploaded the first video. And it was
Okay.
kind of a difficult time because my wife and I were taking care of my daughter that time. We did not had a lot of support. Our parents were not with us that time, so we were taking care of her. And then when I was at work, my wife would take care of my daughter full day, and then when I would return from work, she would be exhausted. So it was my turn to take care of my daughter. And I used to wake up around 4:30 so that I can get some time for creating these tutorials. And it would happen almost every day that as I would complete creating the tutorial, and I had to do some editing and upload it. My daughter would wake up and she would start crying, and I could not wake up my wife because she was already exhausted. So I would bring her from the bedroom, and as soon as she would come in my lap, she would stop crying. And as soon as I put her back to bed, she would start crying. So I had no other option to keep her in my lap. So I used to keep her with one hand. I used to hold her like this, and from the other hand, I would
Okay.
do the editing and uploading and all the stuff. And very soon, I became expert at working with one hand. So I would
Okay.
hold my daughter with one hand, and I would do the editing with the other hand. So that was a very fond memory. So this is how I started, YouTube. And then of course, when the channel became popular, it became famous. I had a lot of support as well. So then it is still connected. So that is how I started.
This is really very, very, very inspiring. I'm sure whosoever will watch this video, especially girls, will be very jealous that uh, you holding your daughter and working together. I mean, it's a big deal. Not everybody does it. So it's really very inspiring, and even, I mean, you can see my face. It makes me happy. I mean, listening this, it's really good.
Yeah, I don't know,
One,
but yeah, I did not had any other option that time. So yeah.
so basically, you told your secret that you are a pro. You can work with your, one hand. You can upload and edit your videos.
Yeah,
That's
now
nice.
I can do. I also learned typing, so I can type with like for 5 fingers and without looking at the keyboard. And I learned professional typing on a typewriter. So if you remember, we had these old typewriters with very hard keys.
Yeah.
I learned typing on that, and when I switched to a computer and a laptop, it was very easy because now it was very smooth and very soft. So yeah, it was much easier when I started on a computer because I learned typing on typewriter.
That's nice. So you think we can take this YouTube as our career, and you like, what are your views on it, that in coming years, 5 years or 6 years, and down the lane 10 years maybe, it will still be the same, or how will be the competition? What do you think about it?
See, I cannot predict exactly 5 or 10 years what it will be and how it will turn out. What I can say is, if you're looking for having a full-time career in YouTube, I would say that do not have a single option. Have at least 2 or 3 options. Like for me, it is YouTube is there. I also do online teaching on other platforms, and I take corporate trainings. So let us say if due to any XYZ reason, I'm not able to continue on YouTube, I can still survive. I can still meet my financial needs. I have other options as well. Although when I started, I did not think a lot about it. I just jumped into it and I took a break. But I was like I wanted to try it out. I wanted to take a break and try it out. And if something goes wrong or if something does not work, I had the option to go back to my job. So that was how I started, and things kept on coming my way, and everything happened for the good. So I was able to continue. But yeah, if you see, I have like 2 3 options as of now. And see, I do something I really like doing. That is one thing, of course. But then I have options open. So I will just suggest that even if you want to come to YouTube as full-time career, you can do that, but have some more options along with you. And do not just take a jump without thinking and without having some options, or without having a way to manage or to handle yourself if something goes wrong. So yes, some people ask me that I do not like my work, I do not like my job, but I like something else and I can do that on YouTube. Should I just take a break, or I take I come out of my job completely and start on it? I always tell them that if you have something, if you are very passionate about something, and if you like doing something, first try it as a side project along with your job, whatever time you can take out. Like when I started YouTube, it was along with my job. I used to work in the morning and then go for a full-time job. So you have weekends, you can always take out at least 1 or 2 hours from your daily routine. So start like that, and then it comes to a stage where you believe that uh, you have a good channel, or you have a good viewership, people are watching you, you also have some other options for your sources of income. Then you can decide if you want to come full time, and even after that you should have like some options with you.
Okay, that's nice advice actually. You cannot, actually, one should not take risk of, you know, just cutting your mainstream and then starting YouTube. Even I feel that way. One source of income is very important these days.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you should not suppose you have never started YouTube, or you have not even started a channel or something, and you believe that, let me stop something I'm already doing and take a jump and come here. Do not do that. Start at a small scale along with what you are doing, and then as it becomes bigger, then you will be at a better position to take a decision on what should you do, and how should things go from there.
True, true. So, Raghav, I have asked a lot of questions about your YouTube journey, the way you keep yourself motivated. One thing I would want to know, who is actually Raghav that no one knows? Can you tell something about yourself that I mean, sh- share actually who the actual Raghav is?
I don't know, because it is like, I am what I am. It's not like, I'm a completely different person when I am working, and I am altogether somebody else when I am at my home or personal life. So I don't have that personality disorder. So I
No, it's not. I'm sorry if I like
no, no,
it. I
I'm
didn't mean it that way. It's actually more about, with all these technical things, no one gets to know you personally. I feel, you know
uh,
what I mean. So that way.
okay. Uh, so I'm just, I believe, a very simple person. I like simple things. I am kind of a minimalistic person as well. Like, if I'm working at my room or office or anywhere at my home, I like to keep the things to very simple and very minimalistic. Uh, if you see this room, you will see there is a board here, a very simple board. Maybe I can show you. So you can see this is
Yes.
a very simple board here, and you can see this is my bed on the floor.
Okay.
You can see I don't even have a proper bed, so it's on the floor. I keep this mattress. So this is a simple thing. I just would like to keep things very simple. If I have so many things at the room, I feel cluttered. I cannot work. If there are so many, there is so much of furniture or things lying around. In that case, I sometimes feel I cannot work at that place. So I like to keep things simple. Uh, and I believe that this is what is there in my teaching as well. I try to keep things simple, step by step. I believe this is one thing that people like, because I have got a lot of messages where people tell me that you should create a tutorial on this particular topic, and then I tell them that this is a very common topic and there are so many other tutorials already available. So it may take me months to come to this topic. You can watch them, and then they tell me that no, we want to watch when you create, because the way you create, make things simple and step by step. This is what we want to watch. So that is something I really feel good, that people like that way of teaching. Uh, I like traveling, and one of the best things that happened with my earlier job, and even now with these corporate trainings, that I got a chance to travel a lot. So I have
Yeah.
traveled a lot within India and US, different cities and different states. I go there and teach, and come back to home. So I like seeing new places, meeting new people. That is one thing I like. So I think that's all. That's who I am, personally.
I would like to add one thing here for those who don't know Raghav personally. I have met him, and I really feel that, yes, as you said, he is a very simple guy, very down to earth. And even when I met you first time and even for the second time, with so many subscribers you have, I don't know. I think it's very natural to have or to develop some sort of ego. But then I found Raghav very down to earth, and he was very. One thing with you, I would like to tell the audience here, the one who are watching, He is very welcoming as well. He will not make you feel that. Okay, one more thing, Raghav, I feel that you are a shy person as well. Is it? I
I don't know. Maybe I'm an introvert.
Yeah,
I I I have a very, you know, there are very few people in my personal circle, I can say. So that is one thing. I do not like, if I know that some people who, if you meet for the first time, and you will feel that they are very friendly and something like that. Maybe I think I'm not so much of like an extrovert. I do not intermingle a lot. If I find new people, I take some time. I take my space, take my time. But yeah, when I create friendships, they are like very long lasting. I can say that. Uh, and on the other thing that you mentioned, Chalmi, is uh, see, one thing I have noticed, and I have started this journey of teaching and going deeper into my subjects. I have seen that the deeper you go into any subject, and it can be anything. I'm not talking about just automation or testing, CI/CD something, but any subject, any topic you take, the more deeper you know, if you go into it, you will realize that what you know is very, very less, maybe 0.1% or 0.2% of what needs to be known. So
hmm.
when you go deeper into a subject, you will have this realization that you know very little of what needs to be known, or I know very less of what I'm actually dealing with, a big topic, a big subject. And when you get this realization, you will always be humble. You cannot be arrogant, and you cannot be, you will not have this feeling that you know a lot. In fact, you will have a reverse, opposite feeling that there's so much more needs to be learned and known. So I think anybody, if you see, who goes a little deeper into their subjects, they will always have this feeling that what they know is very less compared to what needs to be known.
That is true, and I actually wanted to continue say what I said earlier. With that, I wanted to say one thing also, that you are really a wonderful company. Actually, the way I would like to tell the viewers here, the way Raghav speaks will actually you catches in people interest. Even for the first time when we met, I didn't even feel like you are a stranger and I don't know you. It was such a nice meet when we met. You are again welcome to Bangalore.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely want to come and meet you. And once we have this pandemic situation, we are out of this, and we have normal travel and everything going on. In fact, I wanted to meet a lot of people. Even I thought of meeting all my students, or as many students as I can, my viewers. So I thought that I will travel to different cities every month or every 2 months. I will travel different cities and I will meet people. Of course, all this is kind of now deferred because of the situation. But yeah, as soon as we have everything in control, I would love to travel and meet people.
So Raghav, any specific plans you have for like next 2 3 years?
Um, I don't know if there is any specific plan. I will continue to teach. I will continue to work on my topics, my subject. There's a lot to be done there. I have a huge list of topics that are requested by my viewers and students, and I believe it will take a lot of time for me to complete that list. So that is one thing for sure, that I will be continuing teaching and working on all these topics. And apart from that, let's see what happens, what comes my way. I will see that time and decide. But yeah, I will continue teaching. This is for sure.
That's the nice way actually, what comes along. So as you just spoke about pandemic times, So the all this time, like it has been going on for more than a year now. Have has it affect your YouTube and your teaching and all that?
Um, Not really, in the sense that if I talk about in technical terms like the number of viewers, the number of subscribers, and the watch time, and in those terms, in the analytics terms, I don't see a difference or a drop. In fact, I see that because people are online more time and they want to learn during these times, there are a lot of people who are coming to the channel and watching and learning. So in those terms, I have not seen like a huge difference. But yeah, what I'm missing is like the physical classroom trainings that I used to do from my end. That is the what I'm missing. But apart from that, I don't see like because see, the online thing is actually increased during these times. So on that platform terms, it is all going okay and fine. But yeah, the human interaction is something I believe is missing, which is everyone is facing. That is something I think everyone has the same impact on for that particular thing.
Okay. So last but not the least, I guess, any like suggestion you would want to give for YouTubers who are new and or maybe who just want to start and are afraid to do so, I guess. Any
So
specific?
I'll just say that if you really like something and you are passionate about it, you just take the first step. Do not worry about making it perfect the first time. Do not worry about editing. Do not worry about the quality. Do not worry about all the tools, camera, equipments. Do not worry about anything. If it is like something that you can record on your screen, just record your screen with a very simple microphone, whatever you have, like a headphone. Record it and put it on the YouTube channel, and just see how it goes from there. Because a lot of times we are afraid to take the first step, and we believe that we have to get all the things in order and all the things in a perfect shape before starting. Do not do that. Just record whatever video it is. If you are doing something else, like you want to record yourself, you already have a phone which has a camera. Record from there and put it on your YouTube channel. Make the first video, or even if you are already having a channel and you are somewhere in middle of this journey, uh, just do it. Just take the step and record things and put it on the channel, and then let us see what happens. Check your viewers behavior, how they are liking it. If there is something they do not like it, then you will come to know that this is something I should change. So do that. And apart from that, I would say that select your content carefully. So if you are doing something which 10 other people are already doing, then maybe you will have less viewers. But then you see what makes you special. It can be that you are making a video on a topic which is common. That is all fine, but then you should bring your personal touch to that. That is something you should take care of. So take a step forward and uh, start your journey in whatever small way you can. So that's what I would like to say to everyone.
Okay, that's a nice advice. Raghav, since you were into a job and now you are a YouTuber, with all this and basically teaching, with all this, you come across with so many people around you. Can you suggest, you know, uh, few career options other than job? Like there are people who are not able to get into jobs for engineers, basically what else they can do so that in these hard times you know it might be helpful for.
So if you're not able to get a specific or a particular job, I think there are still a lot of options. And today we are into we are living in a time where if we have talent, there are so many options, so many platforms where you can show your talent and you can start working on your own. So we have already discussed YouTube. So if you have some really good skill and passion, you can always start YouTube. Now, of course, when you start YouTube, it is not going to pay you from day one. It is something that will take time where to come to a stage where you can monetize your content, and after that as well, it will take some time to come to a place where you can get good earnings from YouTube. So that is one thing that you should always take care. But apart from that, there are other platforms. For example, if you can teach something, some topic or some subject very well, there are platforms like Udemy where you can put your courses and you can make them paid and you can get paid for them if it is something really some people like it and people are want to have to see these kind of courses and want to learn from that. You can do that. Apart from that, you can do freelancing. So there are some good platforms where you can do freelancing. You can take up small projects, short-term projects or long-term projects. One good site is Upwork. You can go to upwork.com and register yourself, and you can start taking projects from there. I have also seen that on these freelancing websites, there are people who have kind of a huge presence, and then people who come new to that platform, they kind of hire you for some small time, for some short time, and you do not directly work with the client, but you work with these organizations or people who can hire you and can give you some short time work, and based on that you can create your profile there. You can earn from there right away. So these are all the different options. If you are somebody very good at some particular skill, like you have some musical instrument, or drawing, and you think that you can teach, or you can teach English, or you can teach mathematics, something like that, then you can start your own tuition or coaching classes right from your home, and you can invite people. I know this can be a little difficult these times because people may not want to physically come to you, and because of the danger of the pandemic. But still, you can start at a small level, and you can always record your sessions and put it online. So you will have more presence, and then you will have more following, and then you can continue on that. So these are some of the options that you can try.
Those were really nice and practical examples when one can actually implement in these difficult times. Actually, online, I think after some time everything is going to be online. So Raghav, in any point of in your life, have you ever felt that you are failing?
Yeah, it happens all the time. Uh,
No, but there must be, obviously, it is. I mean, this happens even with me that I feel that, okay, I'm done, I can't do this anymore. But then there is one point, no, when it is the peak and you feel that I'm done, I'm just over. So, have you come across such time in your life professionally?
if I talk about professionally, yes, in the sense that we face challenges and difficult situations on a daily basis, even if you are working on a project, or maybe anything you are working on a particular topic, we face these things. But then I think these challenges and these difficult situations really make us strong, and give us all the experience. So it is like, even if you watch a movie, if it is a movie where everything is going fine, it will be such a boring movie to watch. It will only be exciting if there are difficulties, challenges, and then you will get excited that what will happen next. So the same thing happens in life. If I can recall one particular incident, there are several, but what I always do is, once during one of my earlier jobs, I was like I said, I started. I had the responsibility to start, and set up the entire automation from scratch end to end in that organization. And during some of the phases, I had this feeling that I had tried everything and nothing is working, and I just should just leave it, and I should just say that this cannot be done because I have tried everything, I have searched everywhere, and this is just not possible. It happened a lot of times. One particular time was I was working on a project of API testing, and I was using a tool called SOAP UI. Now I know it can get a little technical, but I will just tell you the crux of it. So we had a failure in production, and it was a huge failure. And the failure was because the testing that we did was on a older release, or the new features that were developed in that particular new release. We could not update our automation framework or our the APIs that were being used for automation testing in our automation framework, and because of that some defects were slipped and they went into production, and they was a huge failure, and I was responsible for that because it was missed from my end. So I took it as it was a very depressing state, but I took it as a challenge. I said that this will never happen again, and I said that I will have a feature in my automation framework that whenever it runs automation, it will always update the APIs from the latest release, and then it will run automation on the latest version of the APIs. Now I searched everywhere. Now the tool I was using, SOAP UI, manually it was kind of easier that you can get a new build, you can do update definition, right click to update definition, or it was a little bit easier, but there was no option to do it in an automated way that time. Now there are, but I'm talking about I think 2013 or 2014. So there was no option that time, and I searched everywhere, the entire internet, I googled everywhere, I tried a lot of options, but I could not do that. And it was a difficult situation, and I kind of wrote on a piece of paper that if there is one thing I have to complete before I die, this is that one thing that I want to, have this feature somehow built into my automation framework. And for a few days, including my weekends and nights and everything, I was just working on that script that I can create to make this happen. And exactly after 3 days, I was able to get this script done. And then I was so happy that I was able to do that, and there was no feature that time that could do that. So these kind of situations have come a lot of times, and one of the things that has kind of defined my career is whenever there had been options for me to choose a easier thing or choose a difficult option, I have tried to take challenges as far as I can, and that has actually shaped and defined my career. So you can kind of apply it in any situation you are into.
It sounds very tough. I don't know how did you actually manage mentally during that time, but definitely you did.
Yeah, and I think this applies everywhere, even if in your personal life, in your personal situations, in your professional life, you can apply it anywhere. You do have to be consistent, patient, work hard, work. Just keep on trying, and things will change.
With this, I end my video here, my interview, and it was really nice having you here on my channel. I don't know why did you agree, but then it was really nice to have you.
Yeah, I'm
And
very
I
happy, and I'm happy and honored to be at your show. Thank you so much.
that's that's actually I didn't expect actually, but I'm really grateful that you took out time, and then moreover you agreed to speak on my channel. So I'm really grateful. Thank you, Raghav.
Hi everyone, and I had a great time interacting with Charmi on her channel, and there is a lot of good stuff here. She's working very hard, so please do watch all the videos on her channel. And if you like, please encourage her by liking, and do subscribe and show your encouragement to her. It will be very good, and you will see a lot of good stuff on her channel. Learn and Grow.
Thank you, Raghav, for and have a nice day.
Okay, thank you, Chandni. Bye bye.